What's up, everybody? It's Dave Fernape here with another NPL interview. I'm here with the coach of the Sydney Sharpedos, Gypsy.
Hey guys, what's going on?
Hey, so how's it going with you?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good. Pretty excited about the upcoming season.
Right, so you are a new coach in the NPL. Let me get some information on you and your background. When did you first start playing Pokemon?
Yeah, so I started playing competitively back in like early Gen 5. So that's when I really started to get into the whole competitive side with it, EVs and just sort of jumping on Showdown and messing around with teams. But obviously, things really kicked off in Gen 6 with XY when that came out, and yeah, I've been hooked ever since.
So, outside of, it doesn't have to be competitive, but, what's your favorite Pokemon?
Well, based just purely from my experience in OU, I do love like versatile mons like Tornadus Therian, who can fulfill numerous different roles. He's probably the mon I use most in standard play, just purely because of the different sets he can run, and it's an amazing mon in general.
What play style do you prefer? Balance, type or offense? What do you normally play?
It really depends what I'm doing. If I'm just having like a chilled laddering session, I will I will tend to run more balance. If I'm trying to get Rex, I'll just grab an HO squad and just climb with that. But I do prefer bulky offense or sort of like a balanced build, because it does leave a bit of room for error and lets you be a bit more creative with the team building.
Nice. I'm pretty similar with my team building.
Yeah.
Do you think that reflected in your draft?
I think so. I mean, I did draft a pretty offensive early draft, but I felt like I picked up some reliable sponges towards the end of my draft. I do like to have somewhat of a defensive backbone to fall back on if necessary. So I feel as though I got sort of both ends of the spectrum there.
Well, turning the conversation more to the league, since you're new to the NPL, do you have any prior information? Have you ever watched any matches or known any coaches?
Yeah. I watched a fair bit of last season. I was introduced to Jolt through the March Madness tourney, and after that, I actually I still am involved in another tournament with him. I like a draft league based tournament, similar to the March Madness. And I actually had a pretty great game against him, and that's how it was through talking to him after our match that he actually encouraged me to join up with the NPL. So, but yeah, as I said, I have watched the NPL prior to this season, and yeah, I was pretty impressed with the level of skill shown off in the league. So yeah, I wanted to give it a go.
Is there any Pokemon player that you kind of look up to, maybe in this league or maybe in another league, or maybe just they don't play league format?
I mean, like mostly everyone would say, I mean, the likes of Chimpact, Blunder. I do really look up to tournament players. I think watching, they're some of the most exciting players to watch. But when it comes to league format, I do tend to I actually don't really look up to GBA players. No offense there at all. I feel as though they're a better they're a high caliber of players in lesser known leagues like the NPL and the PPL. People like Jolt, people like Bob, call me number one. Really, I do like the thought process behind the teams that they build, and just the depth they go into with their commentary. Yeah, it's good inspiration.
Yeah, nice. So, talking about your draft a little bit more, did any of those YouTubers influence your draft?
Not so much. I mean, actually, that's not true. I liked the way in which Bob used Metagross um, in the league he's involved in currently. I forget the name of it. But he's used Metagross pretty well. I actually helped him test, and yeah, he kind of shed some light on some different ways in which Metagross can be used. And I did need a nice steel type on my team, and I figured Metagross fit the bill. So that did influence my team, but on the whole, I had an idea of what I wanted going into it, and I was able to come out with feeling pretty happy about my draft.
That's good. It is a pretty nice draft. I actually wanted to mention that some like Pokemon, like offensive and defensive cores, you actually share with a lot of other players, like Mega Pinsir and Zapdos. One of our top players in the league, I don't know if you know him, Togevar, used those Pokemon. Same with Emboar and Alamamola, which the two-time champion Trev used. So obviously you can tell just from your team building and drafting, you know what you're doing in League.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I've had a fair bit of experience now in League. I've been involved in numerous leagues over the past couple of years, I'll say. So I'm pretty familiar with the format, and cores like that do tend to get a fair bit of success. So I was pretty happy. I was able to pick those up and didn't get sniped along the way. So that was pretty nice.
Yeah, it's a good thing. It always stinks when you get sniped, but when you were making your team, we have a cap salary, and obviously you can't go over that. When you were making your team, was there any panic or problems? Because you have Mew, and when you franchise a Pokemon, you have to pay like extra 40%. You had Mega Pinsir, which is pretty expensive, Weavile and Zapdos, which are expensive. So at one point, did you feel like you were going to run out of cap space, or was this all part of your plan?
Well, that's a very good question. When I was taking a look at the board and the points, given to each mon, I did figure that I wanted to pick up my offensive mons earlier on in the draft, spend my money on that. I am pretty familiar with lower tiered mons, and I tend to draft defensive cores from the lower tier. I don't tend to blow my points on higher tier defensive mons because I'm familiar with lower tiered mons, like Alamamola. It's not as expensive as something like Suicune or Slowbro, so I was able to save a few points by getting defensive checks that were arguably, I guess you could say, less viable than the more expensive options. But I don't think that's going to hinder me too much because they can still do their job. So I wasn't too stressed about the cap, and I actually still had a point left over, I think. So I was able to get my 12 mons there. I wasn't too scrapped for points.
So it's pretty obvious. We all know that you actually drafted a Stunfisk. Was that a joke, or did you actually legitimately want the Pokemon?
It's a very good question, man. Without giving away too much, obviously before the season, no, that was definitely not a joke. Stunfisk, as much of a meme Pokemon as it is not to be taken lightly. I've had fantastic success with it in every league that I've used it, but hopefully I can put in some work with it in the season and show everyone why it's not something to be laughed at.
Well, it's good. It sounds like you're pretty happy with your draft and you don't have regrets, but if you could do anything differently or had anything else go your way, is there anything specific?
Perhaps I would have picked up a rapid spinner, as like a an extra means of hazard support, as an extra means of hazard removal. Sorry, but I feel as though I have a reliable defogger in Zapdos, and I'm not too phased about hazards, but a rapid spinner is always nice as well, just in case they have a taunter or some way of pressuring the defogger. So I suppose in hindsight, a rapid spinner may have proven to be handy, but overall I felt as though picking up, I could have picked up a rapid spinner with my last pick, but
Yeah,
I felt as though Kadabra offered more to the team.
that's true. And you also have Mew, which is another pretty solid defogger.
That's right, yeah.
And yeah. So, what is the favorite Pokemon that you picked up?
I'm pretty excited to use Mew. I like to build outside the box, so given the versatility that it has to offer, I'm pretty excited to come up with some unique sets on that. But overall, I haven't used Mega Pinsir in the draft format yet. I'm very experienced with it in standard play, but I haven't used it in draft format up until this point, so I'm excited to see how it goes. It's got some pretty great stat distribution. Obviously, it's got the crippling Stealth Rock weakness when Mega Evolved, but hopefully I can play around that and get quite a few kills with it.
Okay, yeah, Mega Pinsir has wrecked the league in the past, and it's definitely hard for the team builder. What are your hopes for the season in terms of how far you're gonna get, how good you're gonna do?
Well, obviously I'll hope to get as far as I possibly can. I think that I can compete. As I said, I've played Jolt, and I felt pretty good after that match. So I've also faced off against a couple of the other guys too, and I feel like it feels like I can compete. Obviously, it all comes down to how we all team build, and hacks is a big part of it, as everyone in the NPL knows from last season. So if all goes well, I hope to at least make it to playoffs. But I'll try my best to see how it goes.
Is there any team or coach that you're excited to play?
Yeah, definitely. I'm not very familiar with, I don't know many of the coaches in the league, but I am very excited to face them all. Really excited to go up against Jolt again, because he's looking for a bit of payback, I'm sure, and he's just a fantastic battler, and he has great team building skills. So I always like a challenge, so I'm looking forward to facing him. And also Matty Brolick, because he's an awesome standard player, and he's really proved himself in the league, and he's another guy I look up to outside of the draft league. So looking forward to facing him.
Nice. I'm just gonna let you know that in this league, everybody's pretty impatient. I've had to play matches before where I could have waited and made a better team, but no, I was forced to play in the car on my phone. So just saying, you got some pretty impatient people. But Maddie and Jolt are definitely great guys, and in my opinion, the top players in this league. Of course, besides Trev, the two-time champion.
I agree. Yeah.
So, last question: is there anything that you do specifically while you prep, or even right before a match, to get yourself pumped up and ready for the game, or anything that helps you keep your cool?
Well, I like to listen to different kinds of music, man. It does kind of get me in the zone, so to speak. I don't really tend to test on people. I do have friends that do offer testing with me, but I tend to just spend a fair bit of time, quite a lot of time actually, in the building process and predicting and fine-tuning my teams. So I guess I could say I just listen to music and basically run over various scenarios in my head.
Okay, nice. Yeah. Thank you for your time. Good luck this season.
Thanks a lot. Yeah, thanks for having me.
I hope you 6-0 somebody with Stunfisk, and thank you. This has been Dave Fernape with another NPL interview. We will see you next time.